Meanwhile, a political group has endorsed Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari as Nigeria's president in the forthcoming 2023 elections. At a meeting in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, the Osinbajo think tank says the vice president meets all criteria needed to drive a new Nigeria. The group says it is a representation of varied interests in the corporate space who are meeting to promote Osinbajo's potential candidacy. And to discuss this political developments in the build-up to the 2023 elections, let's now bring in our Rice political editor, who's also the director of news, Sumner Sambo. Sumner, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Amaka.
You know, looking at all of these endorsements that have just been going all around, bring us up to speed really in terms of the front runners, looking at the ruling APC and all of this jostle for who succeeds President Muhammadu Buhari.
Well, the front runners generally would include people like Tinubu, which you've just read about right now. He has declared his intention. For people like Osinbajo, we can't include him as an aspirant because he has not told us he's contesting for any office. We've had people coming around to speak on his behalf. Yeah, people like Yahya Bello, you can actually even say that subtly, though he hasn't declared, but he has made his intention clearly known to groups that have been visiting him, that he intends to seek the highest office in the land, but he's only awaiting a formal declaration, which hopefully will be after the APC National Convention. Now,
well, you've seen that group now that have said, you know what, there's a group that came out a few days ago and said, yeah, Bello, because if, as it's looking, it seems like the APC is tilting towards getting a chairman of the party from the North Central region, which makes his chances really slim.
Yeah, I mean, politically, except if there's an agreement, just like it was done in the People's Democratic Party, where it was agreed by all stakeholders of the party that even though the North Central is holding the national chairmanship position of the party, people are free, all contestants are free to actually aspire for the office of president, for the presidential ticket of the PDP, irrespective of where they come from, then that can actually sit well with a lot of people. If not, as it stands right now, it does not preclude Yahya Bello from actually seeking it because the APC says it doesn't have zoning in its constitution, and as it stands right now, he will be rubbing shoulders with all of this. But they are also watching the body language of President Muhammadu Buhari in the APC to actually see how things will go through. Because in all sense of political decorum, if we may put it that way, it doesn't make sense for Yahya Bello to actually contest if a national chairman comes from that particular zone, because it will be a double jeopardy for them. Especially for him, it will be very difficult for him to be able to get the ticket. But if he does contest and he gets the ticket, because APC doesn't have a zone in its constitution, then there will be a pressure on whoever emerges from the North Central as the APC chairman to actually step down.
Oof. Well, we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out, because March 26th is just around the corner.
I mean,
if you look at the PDP, they are having the same issues right now where they've opened up.
Yeah, but that is agreed that if the PDP presidential candidate emerges from the North Central, the national chairman of the PDP will have to step down. I mean, he said this with his own mouth. We'll
wait and see how that plays out. But let's talk about the vice president. Like you mentioned earlier, he's not even saying anything just yet, even though we've seen a lot of groups that take tanks and the Osinbajo for president and the rest of it. The convention is around the corner. I remember the INEC timetable that says a candidate must emerge by the 3rd of June. Isn't his time almost running out for him?
Yeah, well, all we just see Osinbajo doing is making cameo appearances to certain places.
Around,
moving around, not trying to. I don't think it's a good political strategy. By this time around, he should have declared his intention. A lot of followers. I mean, he has a lot of people who actually think that he stands a better chance. And moreover, he comes from the same political family like Bola Tinubu. Because one of the greatest challenges that Bola Tinubu is going to have if eventually he gets the ticket is who to pick as a vice presidential candidate. And if he's, from the body language we have been saying, he's actually going to go for someone who is from the Northwest and a Muslim, and then it's going to be a big challenge for you to run a Muslim ticket. And that's why you see certain forces actually saying that there should be a compromise within the Tinubu political family, for example, for an Osinbajo to come out so that an Osinbajo may represent that group, that political family, and then someone from the Northwest can actually emerge. Because having a Muslim president after President Muhammadu Buhari for 8 years, politically, it's possible, but when you talk about the geopolitics and how things run in the country, there's a lot. If you go to churches nowadays, you see people actually preaching, saying it's our turn. Apart from the zones asking for their turn, Christians are also saying that it's their turn. Yeah, it doesn't make political sense for example, for us to have a Muslim ticket in the APC. But that does not mean it can happen, because it happened in 1993. But in 1993, have you asked yourself why the military decided not to allow that ticket to actually sail through? Absolutely. Even though the elections were won by MKO Abiola. These are some of the complexities, because Pascal Bafiao, the former president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, was the one that was touted to be a presidential candidate to the late MKO. But somehow, because of this politics of religion and region, eventually Baba Gana Kingibe was made to be the vice president of
Sumner, in 30
MKO
seconds,
Abiola.
we have to wrap this up. The Southeast zone, it seems like we're not hearing a lot. Are they losing out?
Yeah, we're actually surprised. What happens to the David Umahis of this world in the APC? I thought one of the major reasons why he was defecting is to actually throw his hat in the ring. But not only that, the APC Southeast Caucus is also losing the chances to hold the party political positions. The party positions, for example, the national secretary, they are not going to be in control based on what we are hearing, and the lobbies out there. So it's time for the Southeast to actually seek the party positions, seek the party presidential ticket. It's open for everyone. The good thing about the APC is that it has said that there's no zoning in the constitution of the party.
It's up in the air. If
if they don't come out to seek it, you can't just give it to them a la carte.
Arise political editor as well as our news director, Sumner Sambo, thank you for joining me tonight on the program.